The chamber of the Galactic Council was never quiet. Thousands of voices usually filled the air, each race pushing their own interests, their own pride, their own wars. For centuries, one world had spoken softly among them, Earth. Humans had always chosen patience. They were the diplomats, the mediators, the ones who turned enemies into uneasy friends. Many alien delegates had grown used to their calm tone, their soft warnings, their endless attempts at peace. And because of that, most of the galaxy thought humans were harmless. Weak, too careful to ever fight back. That illusion ended on one unforgettable day. The chamber lights dimmed, signaling the start of Earth's turn to speak. The human ambassador rose from his seat, his face still, his eyes dark. Silence spread faster than anyone expected. Perhaps it was a heaviness in his voice, or perhaps it was the way his words cut through the noise like blades. He said only this: "One more attack, and courtesy ends." The words fell like thunder. For the first time in the Council's long history, no one laughed. No one dared to. The aliens knew what he meant. A colony had been attacked. Civilians burned alive. Children scattered into space as wreckage. It was not the first strike against humanity. For years, raiders and rival empires had tested them, stealing land, killing innocents, always expecting Earth to respond with nothing but diplomacy. And Earth always had. But now, something was different. The ambassador's voice carried no anger, no rage, only cold truth. He didn't argue. He didn't threaten again. He simply sat down. And that was far worse. Whispers filled the chamber. Some races mocked him under their breath. Humans bluff. They always do, hissed the scaled emissary of the Vurak. They are soft things who dream of peace. Let them bark. They will not bite. Others were not so sure. Among the older empires, among those who remembered wars fought in forgotten corners of the stars, a chill passed, because they had seen what humans could do when pushed too far. One ancient admiral leaned toward his neighbor, his voice a gravel whisper. "If they mean it this time, pray your borders are not the first burn." Far away from the council chamber, in the silence of Earth's orbit, something stirred. A fleet, massive, cold, silent. Human warships that had remained hidden for decades now powered up. They did not move yet. They simply waited. Lights flickered alive, weapons hummed, and formations tightened. But there was no broadcast, no declaration, no promise of when they would strike. They were not bluffing. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy could not read Earth's intent. The humans who once begged for peace now gave no explanation, no diplomacy, no reason. Only one clear ultimatum. One more attack, and courtesy ends. The news spread faster than light. Across alien homeworlds, merchants and soldiers alike repeated the words. In smoky dens on asteroid colonies, smugglers whispered it over drinks. In military barracks, recruits stared nervously at the stars. Some laughed. Humans have no claws, no fangs. They hide behind their kindness. Others did not laugh. "You don't understand," muttered a scarred veteran of the old frontier wars. The last time they fought without restraint, they turned entire battlefields into ash. They are death welders, and they've been holding back. Back in the council, silence lingered long after Earth's ambassador had finished. The delegates tried to return to normal debates, but it was impossible. The words echoed again and again in their minds. What did humans mean by courtesy? Was it their patience? Their diplomacy? Their refusal to crush enemies outright? And if that courtesy truly ended, what would remain? No one knew, and the not knowing was what terrified them most. A cold tension filled the stars. Earth did not move first. They did not declare war. They simply waited. Their fleet stood in the shadows, silent giants watching and listening. Every alien empire wondered the same thing. Who would be foolish enough to test them now? Who would be the one to provoke the end of humanity's patience? The answer would come soon. But for now, the galaxy held its breath. That night, when the council chamber finally emptied, the human ambassador remained seated for a long time, staring into the endless dark beyond the windows. He knew the truth. Humanity had never been weak. They had only been kind. And kindness, once withdrawn, left behind something the galaxy had never seen in full. Pure, unrestrained human wrath. The galaxy remembered humanity as soft, but memory is often short, and arrogance often blinds. Long before humans spoke in the Galactic Council, long before they sat among other great powers, their homeworld had already tested them in ways no alien mind could imagine. Earth was not a gentle world. Its skies burned with storms that could swallow cities. Its oceans had predators with teeth longer than a man. On land, claws, venom, hunger, and disease stalked every living thing. Every day was a war. Every night was a test of survival. And yet, humans thrived there. Where other species evolved in safety, humans evolved in chaos. Where others lived in harmony with gentle environments, humans learned to master cruel ones. They built fire, forged tools, and turned predators into prey. They did not survive because Earth was kind. They survived because Earth was merciless. When humans first reached the stars, alien scouts observed them with cold amusement. Death worlders, they called them, primitive beasts from a cursed world. Many thought humanity would die out quickly, unable to adapt to the wider galaxy. But the opposite happened. Humanity learned faster than anyone expected. They copied technology, improved it, reshaped it. They entered space with reckless courage. And when they encountered their first hostile neighbors, they did not crumble. The memory of those first encounters still haunted some of the older species. There had been the Krovan War, when a raider empire thought human colonies were easy prey. They launched an attack on 3 settlements, expecting easy conquest. For the first few days, it seemed they were right. Cities burned. Families ran. The Krovans celebrated. But then, Earth answered, not with diplomacy, not with patience, not with forgiveness, with fire. Human fleets, old and untested, still crushed the raiders with ruthless precision. They didn't just push the Krovan back. They hunted them. Every outpost, every stronghold, every fleet. In less than 2 years, the Krovan Empire ceased to exist. Not weakened, not wounded, gone. The galaxy whispered about it for decades. But humans did something unexpected. After victory, they did not claim the Krovans' land. They did not enslave their survivors. They rebuilt what was left of the shattered people. They offered mercy where no one else would have. Mercy had defined them ever since. Again and again, when rivals tested humanity, Earth answered with strength, and then with forgiveness. The Theric warlords learned it. Their fleets ambushed human convoys, killing thousands. The humans retaliated, shattering the warlords' armies in weeks. But then, instead of finishing them off, Earth sent food ships to their starving planets. The Vaya Syndicate learned it. They kidnapped human settlers for slaves. The humans stormed their stations, freed their people, and destroyed their fleets. But then, instead of wiping the Vaya out, Earth offered them trade agreements. Time and time again, humanity proved itself powerful and merciful. So the galaxy grew used to it. They began to expect it. Some even mocked it. Humans never finish a war, they sneered. They are too sentimental. They forgot the truth. Mercy was not weakness. Mercy was a choice. And choices can change. That was why the ambassador's words shook the council so deeply. For generations, humanity had shown restraint. They had endured raids, insults, betrayals, all with patience. But this latest attack was different. The burning of the colony was not war. It was slaughter. It was cruelty without reason. And humanity's patience had run dry. In smoky holes and hidden stations, alien veterans remembered. Their voices carried warnings others refused to hear. I fought them once, whispered a scarred captain of the Kuroth. We thought they were animals. We thought they would break. Instead, they came for us like hunters. They never stopped. Only when we surrendered did they stay their hands. Another voice, bitter and low. You think that kindness is endless? No, it is a leash they put on themselves. And if they cut that leash, pray you are far away. But the younger empires laughed. They remembered only the mercy, not the fury. To them, humanity was soft, predictable, a species too gentle for the cold stars. They had forgotten Earth's true nature. They had forgotten the death world. They had forgotten what humans became when cornered. Back on Earth, in hidden bunkers and quiet command rooms, old war logs were reopened. Officers studied records not shared with the council. Footage of battles erased from galactic history played again, showing what humans did when survival was all that mattered. The fleets that now powered up in orbit were not new. They had been waiting for the moment when mercy would no longer be enough. The galaxy thought humanity had always been peaceful. The truth was far darker. Humanity had always been merciful, yes, but mercy was never born from weakness. It was born from strength too great to unleash. Now, as whispers spread through the stars, one question echoed louder than all others. If Earth had chosen mercy for so long, what would happen when they finally chose war? The galaxy always thought humanity's patience was endless. They believed Earth's threats were only words. But patience, like glass, can shatter with one blow. That blow came swiftly. It began on the colony of Astervale, a small world with silver seas and green forests, settled by families seeking peace. Farmers, teachers, miners, ordinary people who trusted the Council's treaties to protect them. Children laughed in open fields. Traders sold goods beneath bright skies. The colony was young, hopeful, unprepared for war, and that was why the enemy struck there. The Zorath Dominion, proud and cruel, had raided before. They believed humans were weak prey, too forgiving to retaliate. Their warlord wanted to prove it again, to take what he wanted, and to humiliate Earth in front of the galaxy. The raid began at dawn. Flames tore through the colony's atmosphere. Alien warships rained fire on the settlements below. Defenses crumbled in minutes. Families ran, screaming, as homes turned to ash. The raiders did not stop at conquest. They hunted the weak. They targeted the escaped ships carrying children. Whole transports were burned from the sky. And then, silence. When the fires faded, Astervale was gone. More than 50,000 lives erased in a single day. News of the massacre spread across the stars. Holoscreens replayed the destruction over and over. Images of children clutching their parents as fire consumed their homes. Ships exploding mid-flight. A world that had trusted in peace, now only ash. In the council chambers, voices clashed. Some races condemned the Zorath. Others shrugged. "It is war," they said coldly. "Such things happen." But humanity did not answer. That silence terrified the galaxy more than any words could. On Earth, grief turned to steel. Across every city, every settlement, every station, people gathered to watch the recordings. They saw their brothers and sisters murdered. They saw their children die screaming in the void. The silence deepened. Not anger, not panic, something worse. Resolve. In the hidden halls of the Defense Command, the leaders of Earth sat around a long table. No one shouted. No one debated. They simply watched the images one last time. Then the Prime Commander spoke. They think we are weak. They think mercy is endless. They believe patience is fair. They are wrong. No one argued. The fleets received their orders. Not to strike. Not yet. To prepare. To vanish into the dark, unseen and unheard, until the moment came. The Zorath, drunk on their victory, boasted across the stars. Their warlord broadcast a message, his claws dripping with arrogance. "Humanity is broken," he sneered. "Their threats are hollow. Their colonies are ours to burn. Their people are ours to take. They bark like dogs but hide when the whip is raised." His fleets cheered. His allies laughed. But far away, in the silence of Earth's orbit, thousands of human warships vanished into hyperspace. No announcements. No threats. Just disappearance. The galaxy shivered. In smoky bars, smugglers whispered. In military outposts, veterans muttered warnings. The same words echoed again and again. "Do you not see? They are not answering. That means they are coming." The young and arrogant ignored them. Humans do not fight. They only talk. The Zorath have nothing to fear. But the older races remembered the Krovan War. They remembered the Theric Wars. They remembered when humans once unleashed their fury. And they remembered how quickly entire empires have fallen. Across the galaxy, every eye turned to Earth, waiting for the response. Days passed, then weeks. Still nothing. The silence grew heavier. Every alien leader wondered the same thing. Why are the humans not speaking? The answer was simple. They were not planning to speak. They were planning to strike. But the Zorath Dominion could not see it. Blinded by pride, they believed their attack had broken Earth's spirit. And so, only weeks after Astervale burned, they struck again. This time at a convoy, 3 ships carrying food and medicine to outer colonies. The convoy did not last long. Flame consumed it, and the warlord boasted once more. See? The humans cannot stop us. Their fleets are dust. Their threats are lies. We will burn them all. He did not know he had already signed his own death. Because in that moment, with the convoy's destruction, the last thread of human patience finally snapped. In command centers across Earth space, silent alarms flashed red. The final order was given. Earth's courtesy had ended. And soon, the galaxy would learn what that truly meant. The Galactic Council gathered once more. The chamber buzzed with noise, alien voices overlapping, claws scraping tables, wings fluttering with impatience. News of the second Zorath attack had reached every corner of the galaxy. Another human convoy destroyed. More lives lost. The chamber expected fury from Earth. They expected shouting, threats, maybe even a declaration of war. But the human ambassador was not there. His seat was empty. Whispers spread. Where is he? Why is he not here? Some laughed. Others grew uneasy. The Vurak delegate hissed with amusement, his scaled lips curling. See? The humans run from shame. They bark about courtesy but hide when their blood is spilled. A ripple of mocking laughter spread through the chamber. But in the shadows, not everyone laughed. An elder envoy of the Illyrians, an old species who had fought humans in forgotten wars, rose slowly. His voice trembled, not from age, but from fear. "You fools," he said, his glowing eyes narrowing. "Do you not see what their silence means?" The laughter died, if only for a moment. The Illyrian's voice deepened. "When humans shout, when they argue, when they plead for peace, you are safe. But when they are silent," he paused, letting the words hang heavy in the chamber. "When they are silent, they are already moving." Still, arrogance drowned out wisdom. The Zorath envoy stood tall, his armor gleaming, his claws clicking against the floor. "The humans are weak. Their fleets are dust. Their threats are my people will burn every colony they claim. They will learn fear." His allies cheered. The chamber shook with noise again. But above the noise, the Illyrian whispered to his neighbor, his voice almost breaking. "No, it is not they who will learn fear. It is you." Far from the council chamber, in the cold dark between stars, human fleets moved. Thousands of ships, silent, disciplined, invisible to common scanners. They did not broadcast signals. They did not send warnings. They slipped into the void like hunters, vanishing into hyperspace lanes unknown to the rest of the galaxy. Whole fleets disappeared from Earth's orbit, yet no alarms were raised. No one knew where they went. Only silence followed them. And in that silence, tension spread. Merchants whispered in trade hubs, "The humans are gone. Their fleets have left. Where did they go?" Smugglers muttered in back alleys. "If you can't see their ships, it means they are already in position." Soldiers in alien barracks shifted uneasily. Even hardened warriors who had mocked humans before found themselves checking the skies at night, as if expecting silent shapes to appear above their worlds. The council tried to dismiss it. The Vurak delegate shouted in confidence, "It is a bluff. Their fleets rot in their docks. These stories of movement are lies spread by human spies." But deep down, unease gnawed at them. Reports came in from border systems. Strange sensor echoes, ghost signatures, sudden disappearances of scouting vessels. Were the humans already there? No one could say for sure. The laughter began to fade. In one corner of the chamber, the ambassador of the Theric warlords, the same people once crushed in battle by humans, spoke with low urgency. "Do not test them again," he warned. "I remember the wars of old. I remember their fire. When they rise, they do not stop until their enemy lies in ruins." His words were ignored, drowned by the Zorath envoy's arrogance. The council, as always, chose politics over wisdom. They argued over trade routes, territory, and borders, as if the silent fleets of Earth were not already moving across the stars. But across the galaxy, the people knew better. On mining stations, workers stopped laughing. On merchant ships, captains whispered of death welders with eyes of steel. In distant colonies, alien children asked their parents in frightened voices, "What will happen if the humans get angry?" The parents gave no answer, because none of them knew. Back on Earth, the Prime Commander stood in a dark room filled with holographic stars. Before him floated the Zorath Dominion's worlds, their fleets, their strongholds, their supply chains. Every weakness highlighted, every target mapped. The voice of his aide broke the silence. "Orders, sir." The Prime Commander's eyes did not blink. His face did not soften. He gave only one command. "Not yet. Let them laugh one last time." In the council chamber, the Zorath envoy raised his claws, boasting again to the gathered races. "Humanity is finished. Their threats mean nothing. Their fleets are shadows. We will burn their homeworld next. Watch and see." The chamber filled with uneasy chuckles, but the veterans, survivors of wars long past, only lowered their eyes. They did not laugh. They did not smile. They knew what the silence meant, and they knew the galaxy was about to learn. The Zorath Dominion struck again, blind with arrogance. A convoy of 3 human relief ships was traveling through neutral space, carrying food and medicine for frontier colonies. They were unarmed, peaceful, harmless. The Zorath warlord saw weakness. He sent his hunters. The convoy never had a chance. Alien cannons tore through steel. Flames filled the void. Families screamed across open channels before their signals went dark. When it was over, nothing remained but drifting wreckage. The warlord broadcast his triumph, his scale face-filling holoscreens across the stars. "Behold the fate of Earth's children," he roared. "This is the power of the Zorath. Let all know, humanity is finished." His warriors cheered. His allies applauded. But across the galaxy, silence followed, because everyone knew what those words meant. The last thread of patience had snapped. That night, the stars trembled. From hidden shadows, from dark lanes no other race dared to travel, Earth's fleets emerged. Not one fleet, not 2, dozens. Carriers, destroyers, cruisers, warships larger than cities. All at once, they appeared across Zorath space like ghosts made of steel. The galaxy had always mocked humans for moving slowly, for acting late. But now, they saw the truth. Humanity had not been slow. Humanity had been preparing. The first strike came without warning. A Zorath shipyard orbiting the world of Dresnak lit up in flames. Human railguns ripped through its defenses before alarms even sounded. Entire rows of unfinished battleships exploded, burning in silence against the black void. At the same moment, on the other side of Zorath space, a supply depot vanished in a blinding flash. Missiles rained down like firestorms. And then, the capital system itself shook. Human fleets appeared above its moons, their weapons locked, their movements cold and precise. The Zorath warlord's laughter died in his throat. The galaxy watched in disbelief. Every news screen filled with the same images, Earth ships moving like predators, every strike exact, every attack decisive. They did not bombard cities. They did not slaughter civilians. No, humanity's fury was colder, sharper. They cut the Zorath Dominion apart piece by piece. Its war fleets, its fuel lines, its factories, its command posts. They dismantled the war machine itself. The Zorath tried to fight back. They sent fleets of their own, but against the humans, they crumbled. Every battle was the same. Zorath ships shattered in minutes, their tactics useless, their pride broken. It was not war. It was execution. Across the stars, fear spread like fire. Merchants whispered in terrified voices, "Did you see? They struck everywhere at once. No empire has ever done that." Soldiers muttered in their barracks, "If they can do this to the Zorath, they can do it to anyone." Even powerful empires, once smug and secure, felt their throats tighten. If Earth's fleets could appear so suddenly, if they could dismantle an enemy so quickly, what chance did anyone else have? In the council chamber, silence reigned. The delegates stared at the holoscreens, unable to speak. The Vurak delegate, once mocking, now trembled. This is impossible. No species holds such strength." The Illyrian envoy whispered back, his voice heavy with grim truth. "You never listened. They told us. One more attack. And now courtesy has ended." Meanwhile, in the Zorath capital, chaos reigned. The warlord screamed orders, his voice shaking with rage and fear. Fight! Fight them! Burn their fleets! But his commands met only silence. His admirals were gone, his fleets destroyed, his people panicked. Entire colonies surrendered without a single shot. The unstoppable Dominion was falling apart in days. Back on Earth, in the command halls, no celebration filled the air. There was no joy in what they had done. The Prime Commander watched silently as reports came in. One by one, red markers across the maps of Zorath space vanished, replaced by empty black. His aides waited for orders. Finally, he spoke. His voice was steady, but cold as stone. Leave their civilians. Leave their cities. But burn their fleets. Burn their war. And so it was done. The galaxy, which once mocked humanity for being merciful, now saw the truth. Humans had never been weak. They had simply been kind. But kindness had ended. Now the storm had been unleashed. And the galaxy realized, with horror, what it meant to provoke a species born of a death world. The Zorath Dominion was gone. Not weakened. Not wounded. Gone. Its fleets reduced to wreckage drifting in space. Its shipyard reduced to molten ash. Its warlords either dead or surrendered. In less than 3 weeks, an empire that had lasted for centuries no longer existed. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. In markets, merchants spoke in hushed tones. The Zorath fought for centuries. No one could break them. And yet, the humans erased them in days. On distant colonies, parents clutched their children close when whispers of Earth spread. What if they come here? What if they decide courtesy has ended for us too? In military barracks across alien worlds, soldiers who once laughed at humans now sat in silence, staring at the stars. Some sharpened their weapons nervously. Others packed their bags, whispering at deserters who might try to flee if humanity turned their gaze on them next. The council was shaken. Delegates gathered, their voices frantic. This cannot be allowed. Humanity is too strong. They must be contained, cried one. Contain them, another spat back. Tell me, how do you contain what you cannot even see coming? Their fleets strike from shadows. Their weapons tear through ours as if made of paper. You would only provoke them further. The chamber erupted in arguments. Some wanted sanctions. Others wanted alliances. A few whispered the unthinkable, war. But no one dared move first, because everyone remembered Earth's words. One more attack, and courtesy ends. The Zorath had attacked. Courtesy had ended. The result was clear. Veterans across the galaxy began to speak out, their warnings carrying new weight. An old Kurov captain, scarred and gray, told a crowd of young officers, "You believe this is new? No, I fought them long ago. They are hunters. They do not fight as others do. They stalk. They wait. And when they strike, they never miss." A Theric warlord, once proud, now bowed his head before his own council. "I fought them. I survived only because they allowed it. Do not test them again. Not unless you wish our name to be erased as the Zorath's was." Their voices spread like fire, fanning the fear. Even ordinary citizens began to see humans differently. Once, humanity had been called weak, too merciful, too soft. Now they were called something else. The silent death, the storm of Earth, the wrath of the death world. Children on alien worlds whispered these names as if they were monsters in bedtime tales. Leaders whispered them as warnings in private chambers. Spies tried to uncover the truth of Earth's power. They slipped into human space, desperate to learn how such fleets existed, how they struck with such precision. Few returned. Those who did brought only chilling reports, endless bunkers filled with weapons, fleets hidden in deep orbit, soldiers trained with a discipline no empire could match. And a truth none could deny, humanity had been holding back. For centuries, they had shown mercy not because they lacked power, but because they had chosen not to use it. Now the galaxy understood the danger of that choice changing. In the council, tension grew unbearable. Delegates spoke in whispers now, too afraid to raise their voices. What if they decide another insult is an attack? One asked. What if they decide mercy is no longer worth giving? Another whispered. None had answers. The Illyrian envoy, who had warned them before, finally rose again. His words echoed in the chamber. "Do you see now? 4 years. You laughed at them. For years, you called their patience weakness. But patience is not weakness. Patience is control, and control can be lost. He paused, his glowing eyes sweeping the chamber. Their courtesy is gone, and now the galaxy trembles, because for the first time it is seeing humanity not as it wished them to be, but as they truly are. Meanwhile, on Earth, the Prime Commander spoke to his officers. The Zorath are finished, he said coldly. Let the galaxy watch. Let them whisper. Let them fear. That fear will hold them back. But deep in his eyes, even his aides could see it. He was not proud. He was not triumphant. He was simply resolved. Because he knew the truth. Fear might keep the galaxy quiet for a time. But fear also breeds hate. And one day, another empire would test him again. And when that day came, humanity would no longer give warnings. Across the galaxy, one thought lingered everywhere, from the lowest miner to the highest king. What happens if Earth decides courtesy will never return? The stars were silent. Empires that once thundered with fleets now stood still, their ships unmoving, their leaders cautious. No one dared test Earth again. No one dared even raise their voice too loudly. The Zorath Dominion was gone, wiped from the map. Their worlds burned, their fleets shattered, their name remembered only as a warning. And yet, it was not their fall that chilled the galaxy. It was what humanity said afterward. The Council of Worlds gathered once more, its chamber heavy with fear. Delegates whispered to each other, their voices trembling. They gave no mercy to the Zorath, hissed one. They did not even stop until nothing remained, said another. They will not stop for us, either, if we cross them. At last, the human envoy arrived. He was calm, as always. His uniform carried no marks of triumph, no sign of arrogance. He stood tall and quiet, his eyes sweeping across the frightened assembly. When he spoke, his voice was steady. The Zorath are no more. That is a cost of defying oath. No one dared interrupt him. Let this be clear. We have no desire for conquest. We have no wish to dominate. But we will not suffer another attack. Not one. His gaze darkened. One more insult. One more hand raised against us. And humanity's courtesy end forever. The words fell heavy, like chains around every throat. No one moved. No one spoke. The envoy turned and left. His boots echoed against the polished floor, each step sounding like a drumbeat of finality. When the doors closed behind him, the chamber erupted into whispers, shaken, frantic whispers. They mean it, muttered a scaled delegate. They mean every word. They will burn the stars themselves if provoked, another said. They do not bluff, whispered the Illyrian envoy, and that is what terrifies you. Across the galaxy, the reaction was immediate. Worlds that had once mocked humans now ordered their scholars to study Earth's history, and what they found only deepened their dread. They learned of wars where humans had fought not for days, but for years, never surrendering, never breaking. They learned of weapons built not to frighten, but to finish. They learned that mercy was not Earth's weakness, but Earth's choice, and choice could change. On distant colonies, alien children asked their parents, "Are the humans coming for us?" The parents had no answers. Some lied and said, "No, the humans are our friends." Others told the truth in whispers, "Not unless we make them our enemies." In the shadows, spies and warlords planned, but even they hesitated. To move against Earth now would be suicide. To do nothing meant living in fear. Some dreamed of alliances, hoping to match humanity's power. Others dreamed of hiding, of retreating to distant stars. But all of them dreamed with fear, because they knew, if Earth wanted them gone, no dream would save them. Back on Earth, inside a war room buried deep beneath mountains, the Prime Commander looked at a star map. Worlds glittered in silence. Empires lay still. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was quiet. But he did not smile. He did not celebrate. Instead, he spoke to his aides. They will fear us now. That fear will hold them back for a time. But fear does not last forever. One day, it will turn into something else. Hatred, one aide whispered. The Prime Commander nodded slowly. When that day comes, he said, We will be ready, but they must never forget this. If humanity decide to end courtesy forever, then nothing in this galaxy will survive. And so the galaxy lived in silence. Empires whispered, armies trained in shadows. Citizens looked to the stars with unease, because all of them knew one truth. The fate of the galaxy no longer rested in their hands. It rested in oaths. And every empire, every ruler, every soldier now held their breath, waiting, hoping, praying, that humanity's patience would never run out again.